The Lotus Eletre marks a bold new chapter for Lotus cars, long known for lightweight sports cars and driving purity, as it ventures into the high-end electric hyper-SUV territory, a vehicle that is both a statement of performance and a statement of brand evolution. It's not a light car, by traditional Lotus standards. In many ways, it abandons a lot of the old Lotus design philosophy, but that makes what it achieves all the more interesting. Starting with its dimensions, the Eletre is large, over 5 meters in length, roughly 5.1 m, wide, and substantial in mass. It is built on a purpose-designed electric architecture, making use of a very large battery, about 112 kilowatt-hours in usable capacity according to many sources, with an 800-volt system that enables very fast charging. The car comes in several trim levels, typically identified as Base, S, and R. The Base and S trims use a dual-motor all-wheel drive setup producing around 603 horsepower, is almost equal to 600 horsepower, and strong torque, is almost equal to 524 lb-ft or equivalent, while the R trim pushes things further with an uprated rear motor, delivering up to 905 horsepower, is almost equal to 900 plus HP, and even more torque. The R version also introduces more advanced components such as a 2-speed gearbox for the rear motor to help with performance across a broader speed range. Acceleration is dramatic. The Base/S variants manage 0 to 60 miles per hour in around 4.5 seconds, while the Eletre R drops that significantly. Manufacturers' estimates put it in the high 2 to 2.9 second range. Top speed is also high, somewhere in the order of 160 miles per hour for the Base/S and somewhat more for the R variant. But while those headlines are most often what people focus on, the Eletre is also engineered to deliver luxury, comfort, tech, design flair, and daily usability in a way that many hyper-SUVs struggle with. Visually, the Eletre is striking. It presents a futuristic, aerodynamic silhouette that Lotus has engineered with active design elements. Vents in the bumper, channels that guide air around or through the body, a split rear wing/spoiler system, retractable aerodynamic features, and even retractable LiDAR sensors are part of its design narrative. These are not flair without function. Many of these surfaces are designed to reduce drag, improve cooling, or enhance aerodynamics at speed. The drag coefficient is competitive for an SUV of its size, and Lotus has pushed hard to give it aerodynamic competence that matches its performance ambitions. There are also visually bold touches, distinctive light strips, sharp edges, pronounced front and rear ends, and a stance that suggests that this isn't just a luxury cruiser but something built to be driven hard. Inside, the Eletre leans heavily into luxury and technology. The cabin is spacious given its class. Second-row passenger space is generous, headroom and legroom are ample, and there are variant configurations, 5-seat or optional 4-seat more lounge style, that allow buyers to prioritize rear comfort. Materials are of high quality. Leather and Alcantara, soft surfaces, premium stitching, tactile controls where possible. The fit and finish in most reviews are praised. The paintwork, the interior fixtures, the feel of switches and surfaces, the sense that this is a high-end product. The technology suite is extensive. A large central infotainment screen, often cited around 15.1-inch OLED in many versions, high-resolution displays, ambient lighting, advanced driver assistance systems, digital/optional camera side mirrors, perhaps even a system of retractable LiDAR sensors to enhance driver assist/autonomous capability. The architecture includes modern luxuries like panoramic sunroof, electrochromic in some cases, high-quality audio systems, possibly massage seats, multi-zone climate control, and all the creature comforts expected in this price bracket. On the usability side, the Eletre does well in many respects. The range is solid, depending on the variant. In WLTP or European testing cycles, the quoted ranges are up to around 373 miles, almost equals 600 km, for the higher range trims under favorable conditions. More modest practical range in real driving tends to be lower. Charging speeds are very fast, up to 350 kW DC charging, enabling 10 to 80% charge in 20 minutes under optimal conditions, plus AC charging support, e.g. 22 kilowatts, for home or slower charging. That means that for many users, long-distance travel becomes more feasible, though charging infrastructure and real-world conditions, weather, driving style, speed, will of course and driving dynamics are places where Lotus's reputation is tested. The Eletre is heavy, often around 2.5 to 3 metric tons depending on trim. That's a lot of mass to manage. But Lotus has packed in adaptive air suspension, electronically controlled dampers, active anti-roll systems in higher trims, especially the R, rear-wheel steering in some versions, and various drive modes to allow the driver to adjust between comfort, touring, performance, and track-oriented behavior. In many reviews, the ride is described as composed and refined, especially on motorway or highway speeds, with good suppression of road imperfections, and with the flexibility to soften up for comfort or tighten for more responsive handling. When pushed, the Eletre R is very fast, and while you won't get the same lightness or directness of a lightweight Lotus Elise or Exige, what you do get is a very competent performance SUV that doesn't feel unwieldy. Some reviews note that under very aggressive driving, the mass does show, squirm or slight compromises when changing direction rapidly, but overall the dynamic balance is good. One of the criticisms that surfaces in many detailed evaluations relates to real-world range and energy consumption. While the WLTP or ideal cycle figures are impressive, real use, especially in cold weather, with high speeds, hauling load, or frequent acceleration, will bring those numbers down considerably. Some testers report that the efficiency, miles per kilowatt-hour or comparable metric, is less favorable than smaller or lighter EVs. This is partly because the Eletre is pushing a lot of power and speed, which tends to reduce efficiency, and partly because its weight and size impose aerodynamic and rolling resistance penalties. Also, the charging architecture, while excellent, still depends on availability of very high-power DC chargers to realize the fastest fill-ups. Outside major highways or in less developed charging networks, that can be a limitation. From a luxury and refinement standpoint, however, the Eletre tends to get high marks. Cabin noise is well managed, though some reports mention wind noise at high speeds, especially around certain vents or apertures, or from the optional aero features, or from camera versus mirror configurations. The suspension is generally praised for its ability to soak up imperfections, and materials and build quality get more compliments than complaints in early reviews. The interior feels modern and premium. The tech tends to be responsive, with good UX in the infotainment and driver displays, and features like digital assistance, ambient lighting, and customization adding to the upscale feel. Some reviews mention that the tactile feel of certain controls, paddles, trim surfaces, could be improved. More weight, more metal, more substance. But these are minor in the context of the overall package. In terms of price, the Eletre is in the upper luxury/hyper SUV bracket. It's not inexpensive. Buyers are paying not just for performance, but also for luxury, cutting-edge tech, design statement, and the Lotus name moving into a new era. Depending on country, taxes, import costs, trim level, optional equipment, the price can vary significantly, and total cost of ownership, insurance, charging cost, maintenance, needs to be considered. Another notable point is the build origin. Though Lotus is a British heritage brand, the Eletre is designed in some studios in the UK, e.g. design input from Coventry etc., but manufactured in Wuhan, China. That move is part of Lotus's partnership with Geely, which provides both financial backing and technical infrastructure. For buyers with strong views on provenance, this might matter, but the production seems generally well put together in evaluations. The Eletre also has to be considered in context of competition. Where does it sit relative to other luxury electric SUVs? Brands like Tesla with their high-end models, Mercedes-Benz EQ lineup, Audi e-tron, Porsche Taycan crossovers, BMW 9, and so on. Among its competitors, the Eletre distinguishes itself by combining very high power options, very fast charging, strong range, plus a design leaning toward bold aerodynamics and technology. It may not have the heritage of some rivals in the electric SUV space, or the brand cachet of certain German names in some markets, but what it offers puts it squarely in the premium category, and in many ways ahead in the tech/performance mix. For daily usability, the Eletre is strong. The ride for commuting is comfortable. Visibility is generally good, with options. Storage capacity, cargo space, is generous, and the interior is quiet and well insulated. Power delivery is smooth, regeneration is decent, and driver assistance features make highway driving easier. Where it suffers a bit are the expected trade-offs. Large size makes urban maneuvering, parking, tight corners more of a task. Weight means that braking demand is higher, and range drop in cold or high-speed/energy-intensive driving is greater. Also, upfront cost, maintenance, especially for advanced tech, and perhaps depreciation will be things owners need to factor. Reliability is still being lived in by early adopters. Some user feedback suggests that over-the-air updates have improved systems. Some small annoyances exist, e.g. charging port placement, infotainment quirks, software bugs, but nothing broadly catastrophic so far. The luxury materials and build quality seem solid in early production. given that advanced parts, such as moving aero surfaces, retractable LiDAR, active grille, camera mirrors, are more complicated, maintenance and repair costs may be higher in more remote or less serviced markets. In summary, the Lotus Eletre is a major departure from what traditional Lotus has been, yet possibly the car that Lotus needed to build to move into the future. It's not perfect, the weight and size impose constraints, real-world range isn't quite as generous as headline figures, and luxury comes at a cost. But for buyers seeking a luxury electric SUV that delivers performance, striking design, advanced technology, and a new-era Lotus presence, the Eletre largely delivers. It blends hyper-SUV performance with refinement, space, and usable luxury in a way that few rivals do. For those who can live with its size and want something bold, it may well be one of the most compelling EV SUVs on the market.